Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara, and the most popular videos on my channel every time are the Project Pan updates. Originally, I was not doing these videos as frequently because some months you don't make a ton of progress. Some months you get new makeup products and so you're focusing on those ones, not the Project Pan products. Some months you're not wearing makeup that much. However, you guys love these videos, and even on the months where I don't make a ton of progress, people still love the videos, lots of comments, lots of views, and because my audience clearly wants these videos, I have been continuing to put them out month by month, even when my progress is less than stellar. And I have to admit, it has been another one of those months. I do not have great progress to report, which is pretty disappointing because last month it was the exact same thing. So I really considered whether or not it made sense to do an update. But I think it is realistic to have these updates because whereas it used to be the case that I would have empties almost every single update, that's probably not realistic for most people, and it has become no longer realistic for myself. So this year we're just focusing on slower progress. Slow but steady still counts as progress. And when I look at these things, all of them except for like one, I have actually been getting use out of. The progress hasn't been visual, but it has been happening on the back end. So with all that being said, let's go into this update, keeping in mind that there are not huge updates. I don't have any new empties, but I have been working diligently on these products. Let's hop into it. Okay, despite everything I just said, I have good news. I actually did finish a product. I just forgot about it because I thought that I had finished it for last time because I was so close to being done last time that I thought I counted it as an empty. Sometimes I do that if there's like literally one use left and I know I'll use it the next day. But in this case, with this Urban Decay eyelid primer, there was no way of knowing how much was left because every time I used it, I swore that was last time. And then the next time, there would somehow be more product inside. So I did, in fact, finish this. You can squeeze it all the way up. There's absolutely nothing left. There's nothing coming out. This took such a long time considering it is a mini. This is 2 milliliters. Is that what it says? 2 milliliters. Damn, if you want bang for your buck, look at eyelid primers. Those things are bang for your buck. You will be begging for them to be finished by the time you actually finish them. Yeah. Anyways, this was an experience. It really was. I don't know how long I've had this thing. I probably don't want to know, but I'm relieved that I am now down to 1 eyelid primer. Is that possible? I started the year with 3, I think, because I had the NYX glitter primer, which I decluttered because I just never used it. I have the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and I had this one. So now we are down to 1 eyelid primer, which is wild. I have other things that I use as eyelid primer, and in fact today I'm using just like eyeshadow paint pots that work as a good base, but I now have only 1 dedicated lid primer, which feels so great. And that reminds me that at some point I will be doing my like mid-year inventory, comparing what my collection looks like compared to what my goal collection looks like. That will be like June, July. But yeah, I just wanted to say this is done and I'm so happy about it. So I do in fact have 1 empty this month. Woohoo! My ring light is actually somewhat broken, so if you're wondering why the lighting has not been as great in the past few videos, that's why. I still have the ring light, but the stand it was on broke, so I need to figure that out. But in the meantime, I sort of just like prop it up beside me. But like, obviously that's not optimal. But let's talk about the Project Pan. I want to start in the order that I want to start in. So first of all, we've got this EOS lip balm. This is one that I thought might be finished for next update. Next update as in like this update. And we're getting there. We really are. But oh god, it looks kind of gross. It's still not quite there. I have actually reached the bottom. You see that blue bit? there's not any product on top of that, but like in the surroundings, there's still product. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to dig in there, but I still feel like I'm not quite at the point that would be acceptably finished. This doesn't yet count as an empty to me. There's still just a small amount of product yet, but I really do use this a lot. This is my like go-to lip balm. I have gotten the habit of just reaching for this when I feel like I need a little something on my lips. They don't feel moisturized. This is what I reach for, so I probably use it organically at least once a day, which is great. So this should be done by my next update. I don't want to promise that, but just based on how things have gone the last time, you'll be able to see even since last month's update that this is now like even more flat than it was previously. Because before it was like right across, and now it's sort of like, you know what I mean? Like dug into. So that's great. We are almost done with that one. It is starting to smell a little different, although I think that I want to blame that on the fact that I often have product on my lips when I use it, so like whatever I have on there is mixing with the product. But I think that happens a lot. Like I know there's a lot of people who will go in with a lip balm or a lip gloss or whatever on top of product they already have, and so that's mixing all in there. The difference is just that this is a lot older than those products. I'm still into it, but I want it out. It's not hate panning, which is good. I think next I want to talk about the Dior foundation. This one, because I have been using it so much recently, and I worry that the more we go into the spring and summer, the less I will like it, because that's what happened last year. I think the issue is just the tone of it. This matches me when I'm at my palest, which is obviously over the winter, but in the summer, like last summer, I really didn't like it. So I think what happened was I was just tanned and it wasn't the right tone for my skin. So it makes sense to use it over the winter and early spring, but as I get a bit more tanned, this is probably not going to be my vibe as much. However, I've been using it a lot, so I look forward to seeing the number on the scale to see how much I have used. How much was it last time? Let's take a peek. It was at 48. Okay. So here I've got my scale, taking the cap off, 46. Damn, it's only down 2 grams, even though I felt like I used it so much. So that's pretty disappointing. I really felt like when I was first using this, the numbers were going down a lot quicker, even though I wasn't using it that frequently. But now that I actually am using it many times a week, it's not going as fast. But it's okay. I'm liking this more than I was at the beginning of the year, so at least, again, I'm not hate panning it. The next product is this Merit highlight, which I depotted so many months ago now, and it's still not done, but I'm not complaining. I do love this product, and if anything, I love it even more in the summer when I go more into like cream and liquid products. This is where we are currently at. At the moment, I do have press-on nails on, so this is really difficult to get out. I like to just like, you know, put my finger in and then tap it onto my cheekbones. But with these, I can't do that. And I don't like, I know what you have to do is like scrape the outside of the nail into the product. I don't like doing that. Obviously I have to, so I scrape a little bit and then I put it on the back of my hand because it looks all like, there it is on the back of my hand. It looks all weird and chunky. I'm obviously not going to put that directly on my face. And then I sort of tap it out like that. And then I can apply it. Let's do a bit on the nose. I did use some of this today, but not very much because I was really struggling with the press-ons. I have an event later today, so that's why I have my makeup like fully done and everything, and that's why I did these press-ons. And also, another thing you will know if you've been watching my recent videos, I have been sort of trialing my own bridal makeup. I did hire a company for my wedding day for hair and makeup for myself and others. However, my trial did not go well, so I'm going to be doing my makeup or most of my own makeup for my wedding, so I've just been trying to practice a lot. Yeah, I'm happy with today's look. It's pretty heavy on the eyeliner. I might change the eyeshadow up a little bit, but I am glad that I'm actually going to have this for my wedding because it is just such a perfect cream highlight. It's funny, there's a couple of products that I look back on that I have panned over the years that I actually wish I had for my wedding. And it's surprising products and products that I didn't necessarily love at the time. For example, do you remember my e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, which I destroyed in December, January? It was so old that I just like removed all of the shadows in it and then recycled the packaging. That had some really, really nice bridal leaning pinks, and I wish that I still had that. That's a regret. Even though I should not still be using it. Like, there's so many pinks in that I don't have elsewhere in my collection. And then another is a lip liner that I used to not even like that much, but I feel like would be very bridal. So I'm trying to work with what I have, and I actually quite like the look of this lip liner and my 2 e.l.f. lip liners. So I think it's going to be okay. But I just wanted to mention that in here because I think that is also part of the reason why some of these, well, we'll get into it when we get to those products. Suffice to say, this is probably not going to be done next month, but I'm not even mad about it because I just love it so much. I'm not savoring it. Like, I'm using as much as I need to use, but at the same time, I'm glad that it has stuck around for so long. Oh, and I also just got a haircut today. My hair feels so much lighter and thinner. Let's talk about this highlight while we're on the topic of highlights. Wow, this MAC highlight, it's really showing its age, and I'm so thrilled about it. I've been using it a ton, not even just this past month, but this entire year, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's because as it gets smaller and smaller, it becomes easier to pick up the exact amount that I wanted, whereas when the product like covered the whole bottom, I would put my brush in there and so much would get on the brush because there was just so much product. So it would always be like more highlight than I wanted, but now I can be really, really precise about the amount I want. So I love this. Like, this is just a great topper on the cheeks after I've done everything else I want. I definitely don't wear it on no makeup days, but pretty much every other time I wear makeup. This is key. Love it. Again, not hate panning. I did mention that there was one product I have not been getting use out of, and that is this Tarte single eyeshadow. Now, I am trying to pan this by the end of the year, and it's tough because I don't love this shade. Like, I really struggle to use it. There have been very few times that I've used it where I've really liked the look. I think it's just too deep a shimmer for me. If it was this shade of brown, I wouldn't struggle to use it that much because I would probably just use it as eyeliner, or I would use it to deepen up the crease, but because it's a shimmer, that doesn't really work for me. And now that I'm trying to do bridal makeup, basically whenever I'm doing a full face of makeup, like I'm really trying to practice, this just does not fit into that at all because the kind of eyeshadow look I'm going for is a very light brown, light pink, glowy kind of look. And a dark shimmer doesn't fit into that. In fact, I don't even think I want to do any shimmer on my eyes for the day of. So I think it makes sense to remove this from the project pan at least until after the wedding, and maybe I won't even want to use it in the summer because to me this is a more like fall winter eyeshadow. But I don't know how I'm going to be able to finish this by the end of the year if I don't pull it into the project pan until like September, October. So I don't know, but I couldn't have seen that coming. Like, I really thought that I was going to be getting a lot of use out of this in March, April, May, and now it doesn't make sense to do that because I'm trying to practice my light ethereal eyeshadow looks. So this was a fail, but I'm going to say it wasn't for lack of wanting to use it. It was for other out of my control circumstances. So saying goodbye to this for now. Hopefully you'll see it come back into the project in a couple of months. Okay, let's get to measuring the eyeliner, lip liner type products and see what progress we've made. I'm going to start with the one that I think has the most progress because I'm very impressed with myself for where I've gotten to with this. This is the Annabelle lip liner. We are at the point where the lip liner is almost the same height as the cap. Ooh, wow. That's like even better than I expected. Each month we are making great progress on this lip liner. I think it's because in the morning when I'm like getting ready, the finishing touch is the lip liner. If I'm not doing any makeup, I'll just do like my skincare and maybe brush up my brows, arrange my hair somehow, and then put on a lip liner. And the two choices I have right now are this deep burgundy lip liner that I don't love and this one. And so 9 times out of 10, I'm reaching for this one and it feels like a treat. Even though I don't love it that much, I'm like, ooh, let's reach for the one I like more. You know what I mean? So it's like incentive to use it up because the other option is worse. Maybe I should add that kind of mentality into other aspects of my product life. Anyways, this is where we are at with the lip liner. You can see over the months just how much progress. Wow, is that just this year? That's wild. Look at that. At this rate, there's only like 2 months left of product. So we could have this done not next month, possibly the month after. Let's say my June or July update. This is gonna be done, which is gonna feel so great because, okay, actually I was just looking at the Sephora birthday gifts the other day and I'm not super excited about any of them, but I would probably go for one of the makeup ones this year. I don't think I've gone for the makeup Sephora birthday gift in many, many years. I've just gone for like skincare, hair care recently, but none of them excited me that much. Anyway, so I'm probably going to end up getting either the Makeup by Mario lip liner and lip balm or the Summer Fridays lip products. So I'm like, damn, 2 more lip products that I'm bringing into my collection, even though I need to get my lip product collection down. And I have a specific lipstick project pan all about that. I will link that here. So it'll be good if I can get this out before that point, because at least that's one leaving my collection, being replaced by 2. But you know, I'll take the wins where I can. So that's the first one. Let's see how the other ones are doing. I'm not as optimistic about the other ones. We've got the Revlon White. So this is a double-ended eyeliner. I do not use the purple end anymore. I am just using the white end. And let's see. Ooh, that looks like it's in the exact same place. Even though I remember using this multiple times this month, and the reason I remember is because it never looked great after a couple hours. Like, this is the kind of product that I love, a open, wide-eyed look, you know, and you put some light or cream color in the inner corner to achieve that effect. I love that. But if it's not a very good quality product, after a couple hours, it'll start to like crease and get all crusty in the inner eyes, and then you have to like wipe it away, and it doesn't look good. So I use this, but only if I don't need my makeup to last that long, because it's gonna look worse than if I hadn't used any product at all after a couple hours. So yeah, haven't been loving this. It's still useful, like I still like using it because of the effect it gives, but because of that, I'm not using it every single day. Apparently, I'm barely using it any days. That's disappointing. I really felt like I was using it somewhat. Better luck next time. Okay, the next one is the brown Wet n Wild eyeliner. This is so close to being the same size as the cap. I don't think I've made huge progress this month. I actually sharpened it today because I used it quite a bit today, but I probably didn't sharpen it other than that this whole month, so maybe it'll have gone down like a millimeter or 2. Not great. Yeah, I don't think that's even worth like marking down. That's disappointing. Again, I'm gonna blame this on the wedding makeup. I've been using black eyeliner a lot more than usual. Usually my go-to is a brown eyeliner, but for the wedding, I'm gonna be wearing black eyeliner. So I've been practicing my winged liner because it's still not great. Here's where we are at with that. I mean, it's tiny, but it's not finished. I'm not gonna guess. This is gonna take a few more months at least. And then the last measurable product is an Urban Decay liner. And I remember this was the double-ended liner, but it wasn't in my makeup bag. So I'm a bit confused about that. Like, did I bring it out with me one time and then lose it? I think I'm gonna give a little search again to my makeup bag, maybe some purses, my makeup stash, and then I will come back and let you know if I found it. BRB. In a strange turn of events, that double-ended eyeliner was in my makeup container compartment thing, which means that I have not used it since the last Project Pan update. I mean, even if it was in my makeup bag, I probably wouldn't have reached for it at all, to be honest, just based on how this past month has gone. But yeah, I'm not sure how it made its way there. You know, I'll measure it just in case, but I really don't think it will be. So there's where we're at with that eyeliner. I might take this out of the Project Pan for the next month just because I know, again, I'm going to be practicing with that liquid eyeliner. I'm not going to be practicing with a pencil eyeliner. It's actually wild how much this wedding trial has affected my entire makeup life. Now, everything about my makeup life is catered around the wedding trial. I made a couple of makeup purchases, unfortunately. Every time I do my makeup, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, it's stressful. So I will be happy when all of that is over. And because of that, it probably does not make sense to do a Project Pan update for June, like beginning of June, because I'm just going to be, I don't think I'm going to be making any progress, because usually my goals in terms of my makeup life is progress, makeup curation, decluttering, but I just have such a different goal right now, which is to get better at makeup and to figure out what is like the best look for me. And so I can't focus as much on panning. But this is a temporary issue and we will be back in full swing after the wedding. Honestly, I feel like a lot of my life will be back in full swing after the wedding. It is stressful, guys. It is very time consuming. If you do not want a wedding, do not have one. That is like my main advice. I want one, so this all feels like hopefully the day of it's going to be worth it. But like, if the idea of like a big, not even big, my wedding's not even big. If the idea of a big-ish wedding doesn't appeal to you, do not do it. This will not be worth the time or money invested into it, and you will just end up regretting it. So, okay, let's talk about something that I made progress on. It is this MAC powder highlight. Now, because I have been using makeup a lot more the past few weeks, I think there's going to be a decent amount of progress here. I think last time it covered about a third of the base, but now the pan covers like half of it. It still continues to be really challenging to get into those areas because of the size of the brush that I use, but I think I'm just going to try to use it like, you know, organically however I can, and then I'll end up using that part, and then it'll be just the surroundings, and I'll use a smaller brush to get in there and to powder the smaller areas of my face, I guess. But I'm really happy with that amount that I've used, and especially so because I've been using another powder as well this month. I've been using this Nude by Nature loose finishing powder, and that's because I've been learning to bake my makeup, and you need a loose powder for that. But I've just been using a lot more powder in general when I'm doing my makeup, because wedding makeup, it needs to last all day, so you need a lot of powder. So I sort of use these two in tandem. But yeah, still a lot of good progress on there, and I'm still hoping to be done this by the end of 2025. It's a good powder, but this is not something that I would repurchase because it's just like fine. You know, I don't feel like it stands out, and also has a little bit of like shimmer, like glitter particles in it, which is just weird for a powder. Something that I have not gotten a ton of progress in is this Kevyn Aucoin bronzer, and that is again because of the wedding makeup I've been working on. This just is not a product that I'm going to be using the day of. I've decided I will be using a stick cream bronzer or contour, and then I will be using this as the powder bronzer. I think it makes more sense to use a cream and a powder rather than two powders, because I'm already going to be so powdery, and I just feel like I can get more control with a stick contour. So, you know, you can see I haven't used this that much because it hasn't been part of my practice routine. I did actually, as I mentioned, I purchased a couple of products because of this whole wedding makeup thing, and one of them is that cream bronzer. So I'm really excited about that. There's going to be a lot to recap when this wedding is finally over. I cannot wait to sit down and do a chatty get ready with me and using all the products that I have purchased and like going through this new routine, baking, and everything that I have learned in preparation for the wedding. Oh my goodness, but that is actually it. Those are all of the products that are in my project pan, and that is all of the progress that I've made on them. Now you will note that I moved the Tarte eyeshadow out of this, at least for the next month or so, and I also finished the Urban Decay eyelid primer, but we started with 12 products rather than 10, so I'm just gonna leave it at 10 rather than bringing something else into the project because, as I mentioned, my goals are so different right now. It just doesn't make sense to throw something else into the rotation. That is it. Let me know if your progress has been similar to mine this year, aka not great, or if you've been doing better than me and this is actually a really good year for you so far. I hope for your sake that it is. I don't think I'm going to be talking about a book that I've been reading lately, so that's going to be it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week.